Good morning everyone. I'm on day 20 of my hike, and thought I'd just give you a quick update as I'm walking along this morning, because it came to mind. I don't know what lockdown's been for you, what it is like, because I know some of you are unfortunately still in lockdown. I live in a little village in Spain, and when the lockdown started we had a strict lockdown. You weren't allowed to go out of your house, you weren't allowed to do anything. And that went on for a long time, and me, like most other people here, love the countryside. I love being out hiking, but I accepted it well, and always had these thoughts of I'd get all these projects finished whilst I was in lockdown, which I didn't do them all. I did a fair bit though. But one thing I realised was living in the countryside in Spain is that in lockdown, I don't know whether the world was trying to reset, but everything had a rest. The flora, the fauna, animals, they had a free rein of the countryside whilst we were in lockdown. And you really noticed it when you got out and about again. And I'm a bit like an Indian tracker. I like to watch footprints, and I like to see what's on the road in front of me. Well, as I had a lot of rain yesterday, all the ground in front of me is quite wet, so you can see fresh prints. So I've had one farmer pass me in a Land Rover. I can see there's another vehicle being here, but what I can't see anywhere is that there are no footprints. So nobody's been out here walking at all. But what I can see is I can see wild boar prints, because I have them in my area, and it's the one thing I noticed after lockdown was the increase in wild boar in our area. You could see the prints, you could tell where they were going to get water, that they had young with them. They have a lot of wild boar in this area. They serve them in the restaurants. You get a lot of deer, the Iberian ham. So this is quite a meaty area. They're serving in the restaurants. But you can see that all the paths where normally they'd be trodden down, you're struggling to get through them, using your sticks to clear the way. But you can sense that the air feels clean. It feels peaceful, much more restful. And yeah, it's quite nice there. So I'm up in the hills with a it says 35 point something kilometres, but the lady in my hostel last night said it's closer to 40. And there is a taxi service apparently that will pick you up halfway, take you back to where you were or further on, and then drop you back there the next day. I'm just going to walk on. I've got, thankfully, where I stayed last night, I was able to prepare some stuff, because the big bar in the village closed down. Elderly couple afraid of COVID. Another bar went into for a coffee this morning. Loads of freezers in there. But when I asked last night could they prepare some food, they said no, they could do maybe a bocadillo, a roll, because there was no call for it. The bank didn't dispense money. What else can I say? It's certainly a different experience. And the village itself, because the area I'm actually going into was one of the strongholds and one of the sort of frontline areas of the Civil War, where people were hiding out here in the mountains. And it was certainly noticeable yesterday in the village that I was in, even though you know, history and Franco maybe for some a long time in the past, but it appeared here that it still was being relived. And almost like you could sense there was friction between families, that there were still supporters on both sides. Quite interesting. And also lots of fountains and natural spas were found in this area. So it's a very interesting area. But it's just lovely being out here in the countryside. Now I'm starting to see more birds of prey. And I got up this morning, it was a bit crisp and cold, but now the sun is coming out. It's the ideal walking temperature. So it won't be long before I take my first layer off, and just crack on today. So I've got my second breakfast in my backpack. I've got my lunch in my backpack because there are no stops, no water stops for 40 kilometers. So yeah, I'm just taking my time and just, yeah, the rain stopped, the day is good. Okay, take care all, bye.